Something is seriously wrong at Chelsea, and at the center of it all is Enzo Fernandez. Just months ago, he was the future of this club. Now, he's suspended, frustrated, and dreaming of Real Madrid. So, what really happened? And is this already the beginning of the end? The atmosphere at Cobham has turned toxic. The doors have slammed shut, and the Argentine midfielder finds himself frozen out. According to head coach Liam Rosenyor, Enzo will miss two crucial matches: the FA Cup clash against Port Vale, and more importantly, the high-stakes trip to Manchester City. This isn't a routine suspension, it's a brutal statement about the discipline Chelsea is desperate to restore. The catalyst? A live stream during the last international break. Enzo didn't just praise Madrid, he compared its energy to his hometown of Buenos Aires and openly hinted at a future away from London. For a club struggling to hold things together, those words hit like a betrayal. Liam Rosenyor didn't hide his disappointment. He made it clear that this went beyond just a casual comment, adding,
I think for Enzo, it's disappointing to speak in that way. What I will say about Enzo is in terms of him as a character, as a person, got no bad words to say about him, but I think a line was crossed in terms of our culture and what we want to build. So we had to make a sanction, and that was a decision we've made.
Dropping a world-class star was a heavy price, but it was one Chelsea was willing to pay to protect the soul of the club. But here's what makes this story even more dramatic. Go back 3 years, and everything looked completely different. When Enzo Fernandez arrived in London in January 2023 for a British record £106.8 million fee, the entire fan base was buzzing. Chelsea supporters saw him as the future, the brain of a new era, fresh off winning the 2022 World Cup. The club's American owners didn't just spend big for the sake of it. They had a clear plan. First, it was a financial strategy, spreading the cost across a long-term deal. But more importantly, they wanted Enzo to become the heart of the rebuild, the leader, the player who would guide a young squad for the next decade. They weren't just signing a midfielder, they were building around him. That contract running all the way to 2032 said everything. Enzo wasn't just part of the project, he was the project. And during some of the toughest, most chaotic periods in Chelsea's recent history, he actually lived up to that role. While everything around him felt unstable, Enzo was one of the few players who kept showing up. Week after week, he played like a fighter, controlling the midfield, moving the ball with intelligence, and delivering passes that could break any defense. Even when the team struggled, he kept going. For the fans, and even inside the dressing room, Enzo wasn't just a star. He was a leader, the kind of player who kept Chelsea from completely falling apart during their darkest moments. But here's the problem. Enzo couldn't carry Chelsea on his own. No matter how well he played, it wasn't enough to fix a system that looked broken and inconsistent. His numbers were still impressive, but the team kept struggling. Week after week, the results just weren't good enough, and slowly you could feel the frustration building. Things hit a new low earlier this year when Enzo Maresca left the club in chaotic fashion. His departure, after internal disagreements with the board, created a massive void. Chelsea suddenly looked lost. No clear direction, no stability. Constant changes on the touchline combined with a transfer strategy focused on young, inexperienced players only made things worse. And for Enzo, it started to feel like his prime years were being wasted. Then came the breaking point. A humiliating 8-2 defeat against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League knockout stage. That wasn't just a loss, it was a brutal reality check. A reminder of how far Chelsea had fallen from Europe's elite level. And on that night, we saw a different side of Enzo. Frustrated, angry. He was caught shouting at goalkeeper Philip Jorgensen on the pitch after a series of costly mistakes. And after that, his performances dropped. The energy wasn't the same. In the following Premier League games, he looked off, disconnected, lacking intensity. You could see it in his body language, slow walks, blank expressions. That sense of disappointment every time the final whistle blew. Then everything escalated. Enzo publicly admitted that he wants to live in Madrid. And in modern football, that's not just a casual comment. That's a message, a transfer signal, clear and intentional. Because let's be honest, Playing for Real Madrid is the dream for almost every professional footballer. And for Enzo, it felt like an open invitation sent straight to Florentino Perez. Now, those rumors about a move to Spain, they're no longer just rumors. They're starting to feel very real. Real Madrid are expected to part ways with Dani Ceballos this summer. And more importantly, they're still searching for someone who can truly replace Toni Kroos. Here's the final part, translated in a natural, emotional voiceover style, keeping it direct and powerful. And if you look at it purely from a football perspective, Enzo Fernandez feels like the perfect fit for that role at Real Madrid. His style shares a lot with Toni Kroos, calm under pressure, reliable in possession, and capable of dictating the game with sharp vision and long-range passing. Add to that his South American fighting spirit, plus the status of a World Cup winner, and you've got exactly the kind of global icon Real Madrid love to build around. For Enzo himself, this wouldn't just be another transfer. It would be his chance. A chance to finally compete for the biggest trophies at club level, the ones he's been chasing for years, both at Chelsea and before that at Benfica. But here's the big question. Do Real Madrid actually go all in? Because Chelsea still hold all the power. With a contract running for another 6 years, they are under no pressure to sell. And there's no way the club lets their most valuable asset leave for anything less than a massive fee. According to Sky Sports, Madrid would have to offer a huge amount, well beyond the original £106 million, if they want to pull Enzo out of what now feels like a golden cage in London. This isn't just a transfer. This is a blockbuster deal that would demand serious financial commitment, and it's a decision Real Madrid will have to think very carefully about before the summer of 2026. Because after 3 years, Enzo Fernandez's story at Stamford Bridge is starting to feel like a tragedy. He arrived as a hero, a symbol of hope. The player fans believed would lead Chelsea into a new era. But now, he's slowly becoming a problem, a name that divides opinion. A player no longer fully trusted by the same supporters who once sang his name. What started as a perfect long-term project, a deal meant to last nearly a decade, is now falling apart, surrounded by doubt, frustration, and disappointment. And when a commitment that big collapses this quickly, it hurts more than a normal goodbye. This isn't just a transfer story anymore. It's the collapse of belief. And it may leave a scar at Chelsea, a reminder of a time when Enzo Fernandez was supposed to become the defining legend of a new generation.